Hey guys, this is like a major vanity project video, but does anybody else feel like there's just way too many like musical ideas and stuff? Like, there's just way too many, not only just on the guitar, but the second you try to branch out like I do. I hope you guys see that, but basically this is just gonna be me trying to figure out. This is out of tune, obviously out of tune. I think this thing is just perpetually out of tune because what happens is like every time I play and I try recording, I'll show you guys what I have. My setup here is wait, hold up, guys. I hope you see. That's my Norman microphone, which I'm treating so very good. I mean, I swear I do. It's better than it looks because it's like I'm using this microphone. What do you call it? Like the bolts on that, or the thing that's screwed to there is like it's like kind of duct tape a little bit, but it's not like I'm duct taping the micro, like the actual thing on the microphone. It's just like to get it kind of there. It is like a little sturdier than it looks. Like I try to make sure I don't like you know, I put it in a safe place. But yeah, so basically I have this thing where yeah, like I said, as soon as I get up to the higher frets like there, then it starts like out of tune. 'Cause, like down here, okay, so that's an E. I'm tuned a full step down, so that's like a D, you know, A, G, F, A, E, D, but on the second fret. So this is basically standard tuning. I just like to do that because I have other things going on. I have a song that I'm trying to do. It's kind of a slower kind of song. It's not all trying to be a virtuoso wannabe, but maybe you can kind of see the shapes I'm using. But it's basically, yeah. I might as well play a little. It's like a very simple kind of thing going, and then it's like a, and then it's like a. Sorry. I swear I didn't tune this. It's like not too long ago. It's been like literally 15 minutes since I last tuned it, so it's like it gets out of tune. I'll probably need to, like, you hear like that G note right there, like right there. Okay, the string. I mean, okay, that is like every time I play that, the resonance. It's like a weird kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, it's like a Dorian mode type of thing. It's like I'm stuck in like a weird 5/4 tuning where I'm like. But no, it's like because I have another song that's in 5/4 tuning. I honestly don't do that many weird time signature songs. So it's like a bum, and then it's A minor, and then C. That's very very simple. But then there's like kind of more like over the top parts where I'm like rising up, and then it's like a B flat, you know, like the minor third atop that G. Could be something like that, and then I'm like I like kind of adding these like weird kind of, not that weird, but like kind of melodic minor things where you're like, and then because it all comes back to the G. But you hear like any kind of like composer back in classical times, they some of them, not everybody, but you know, some of them use that, like Chopin. I think I hear people, or Schumann, and you know, use these you know, all like kind of like the dominant seventh. You know, the none of this isn't bar. That's like, you know, there's like a, you know, and I've heard people in like contemporary stuff using this too. I think something like that, and then, but you know, that's just, you know, my own kind of whatever. And then it's like so there's that, and then there's another part. So that there's also another thing I want to do, where I'm like switch it up a little bit, where I'm like, now I'm playing a A minor here instead of the third chord. It's the second chord in the sequence. had this nice. I like this sequence here. It's like an A minor 9 or add. I think it's an 11th. So an A minor 9 would just be like have that like kind of thing. That's an A9 because there's no implicit minor third stuff there, right? See, I'm drawing from all this musical stuff that I know. It's really not stuff that I've sat there and studied hours and hours upon end. It's just stuff that I've gathered from different sources over the many years. How many I picked up guitar maybe 14 years ago. I don't know. I think like 15 or 16 I probably finally took it more seriously at, and then 17 I probably didn't start, and then I started like playing around with open tunings and stuff because a lot of the stuff I was listening to was like yes, Mumford & Sons at some point had, and then like, but I heard other artists lesser known like Neil Halstead of Slowdive use a lot of like open tunings and stuff. So but the problem with that is like once I'm in that tuning, I tend to stay in that for like I'm in that tuning a lot or I'm not at all. Like I'm just in standard a lot, or variations of standard, like I'm just a full step down here. But I started playing around with stuff like open tuning, and I was like, oh, that's actually really, really nice because you can do stuff like that. And then I'm still trying to learn that one American football song, very, very, very popular one, kind of emo stuff that has like a very like, it's like a, that rises up the scale and stuff. And I just wanted to do that. It was like I barely even practice that song whatsoever. I don't think I'm ever going to cover it. I won't do it that that kind of guitar work is, but I still want to kind of see like kind of math rock stuff, what that would sound like, but I'm not really, the closest thing I can do is kind of like see, now when you put me on the spot, it looks like I can barely play the guitar, but I'm more interested in like shapes of just patterns and shapes and rising up the scale. I think the caged method of of chords like this, that C chord, and then D chord, A and E, G, what am I missing there? F, rising up the scale, all those chords are very, very, and then even to this, like this stuff, D chords rising up the scale, or you could do this. Do something in kind of a melodic, kind of minor D stuff. And sometimes I'm too lazy to turn that. I might as well. You could do. Oh, it took 2 seconds. You can make it easier yourself. You don't have to always spread that. You can always like, oh well, if I'm playing an A chord, I can just play that open second, the open A string, which is now a G, obviously. So anyway, but I like I was saying, I have stuff written down here. I'm just gonna try to show you if you can see that. It's basically just very stuff like add to F sharp minor song, F sharp minor, C sharp. Like stuff like that, and I can kind of show you. I can barely see that at all. Even with the sun still kind of shining out there in the miserable January weather, where I'm comfortably in my space heated room. But yeah, there's a. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this back up to standard. So there's stuff like, there's stuff that's very simple. I have songs in there that are literally just like, very simple, like major fourth, and we're going to do your minor, or maybe the, and then minor third of the scale, very simple, and maybe a switch up. There's stuff like a little bit like Needle in the Hay by Elliott Smith, like there's like a okay. Ooh, excuse me. I just got a weird thing in my throat. Something got caught in my throat. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, so I have a lot of weird chords in here. Yeah, sorry. A little mess, especially. I thought I got over whatever sickness I had, but, still weird phlegm in my throat still. Yeah, so, yeah, I have stuff like, there's like a weird bossa nova thing I had where it's like a, yeah. I can show you on the keyboard too if I can get like. This is why I wanted to make a video, another kind of vanity project of just me, of what, trying to make a song in like 15 minutes or less. I know that's like a challenge. That's kind of stupid, but I hear all these, you know, like kind of these kind of stories that are almost like people kind of, seem to be like easily swayed by of like, oh well, this person like you know, what was her name, Carole King, you know, she wrote this song in 15 minutes or less than 5 minutes, or some people like less than whatever 5 or 10 minutes. But the thing is like, and then people are saying, well, then again, it took me my whole life or whatever, with pain and suffering and all that stuff. It's kind of a major cliche, but there's, I guess, truth to that, because stuff that I write, there's a number of stuff that I come up with like on the piano. Well, I'll just come up and I'll just sit down and I'll come up with something like something like F sharp minor thing, and then I'll be like, oh, that sounds nice, and then I'll be like, what comes out of that? Well, go up to E minor here. It's not technically F sharp minor and E minor. That doesn't seem like they have any direct correlation necessarily, but after you play the C, because they're almost like not a tritone apart, but I think it, because you're in the minor, but I think that in A major, C, in any respect, is belongs to, you know, that is the minor third above A, and that I just thought that would sound cool if I did. Plus, I think there's an Alex G song that has kind of a similar thing where he's like, I think it's Greta. Something like that. I think it's like except that's major, not minor, but it's still a slightly similar idea where I'm like, oh well, that sounds cool, and then maybe G or E minor, you know, relative minor to that, to B minor, and I love that shape right there. It's like a minor, you know, add 2 or something, or it's like, and then there's just different things where I changed it up a little bit, where I'm like, now C sharp. The point is that there's no real tonal consistency. There's no center that brings you back home. So, but I always like, there's like F sharp minor rather. You're just ending on that or whatever chord this is in this crappy tuning. Because I see things more in shapes than I do in like necessarily in tuning or stuff. I do still like think about you know what key I'm in, obviously, but modes and shapes I think are important too, because there's like modes where you're playing, for example, like you can play like a very simple C minor, or you could do, and so you could do like a Mixolydian Dorian and stuff like that, and I could, stuff like. There's passages and everything, so like if end up down there's B minor or B flat minor or B flat major. I like this D minor shape. That's like a nice like a ninth, or not ninth, but a kind of a suspended. And yeah, back to G in some way. So there is, in some sense, if I'm doing that. But yeah, and there's another thing I had in mind where I was like, oh, what if I this is why there's just too many chords, because I never, when I sit down to record stuff, I try to like make everything as silent as I can. I have issues like in good or I don't know, seeing through to the end of a song, because it's like, whoa, I'm really good at starting, like I literally have like this whole cluster of not even a cluster, but like 20 songs, or between 15 to 20 songs in this thing I just called simple minimal acoustic thing. And then I just like, but now I'm getting carried away into maximalism, which is fine too if I can keep my heads about me, but which is kind of like the Beatles everywhere, everywhere, every place at once, I think it's going. I think I would know it, but yeah, because they go to, and then they do like the intro to that song, and then I think, you and oh wait. I think, alright, something like that. And then, yeah, but I just like kind of had that idea of like, I heard other people using that. Elliott Smith, I think, uses that a number of different times in his songs. He's like, I think, but I want to make a simpler kind of thing, kind of 4-chord thing to go back on, and make it on piano more so I'm going to try to switch gears on that in a second, but yeah. And then so basically G, B minor, the minor third, oh wait, hold up, to F, to A minor, and then I use that cadence going back to E minor, or A minor, E minor, kind of walk. Or you could use, and then other things too, like you can use like G sharp minor, that that half step above. You could use that. You could use that. You could go to kind of deceptively, which I love that, especially because that tension between that, you make a minor seventh kind of thing. If you leave this one here open, that thing, you make a major, and then somehow C minor, C, I didn't make any of that up. I've heard like Radiohead use that. I heard Bjork, use that too. I think Kate Bush uses that too at some point. Yeah, it's not so, but I think I also had this other thing too. I heard it was like to minor, and then like this sounds cool. Boom to F. It's all about using a thing of chords in a way that expresses or that gets out something. So it's like, so this is kind of going for a bit of a weird, like nostalgic kind of, not nostalgic, like trying to go for otherworldly maybe. But psychedelic isn't quite the right things. There's like, I think with psychedelic, there's like bands like Crumb do that best in the modern day. Although I think Jimi Hendrix, I think, did that kind of. I can't remember how you play Hey Joe. But yeah, I mean, there's a one sense of I'm going for is like, so like I'm trying to use a sequence of chords in a way, and then other times I'm trying to, because I have so many different ideas, all of them are like gnawing at me too. I'm just like, John, I need to like include this part. I need to let me include a super dramatic section and stuff. And then other times I want to express a range of things where I'm like, well, what if I just want to play a very simple thing of just, like just chords like this or something like that. Like something I remember coming up like not too long after picking up guitar, maybe this recordings I was like looking back on that I somehow salvaged. I can't remember what I put it was. Like I was like completely, obviously I wasn't playing in timing at all. Rhythm is like to this day rhythm is like the worst, is my weakest aspect, I think. In fact, I just recorded this whole thing. I'm gonna try to put out there pretty soon, but I'm not gonna promise too much because there's like a mixing and like certain things in the vocals I want to do, but it's literally just guitar. It's actually the classical guitar, not. Here we go. But even with that, I kind of like did this like, whereas like I was like, I like that F sharp version, where you're like it's like a D in there. There's like that kind of dominant, or not dominant, but it's like a borrowed. It's a major fifth that's turned into a minor fifth because that's, I've heard it before. And then I got carried away and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a section where I'm like doing this, or I'm like, there's like a. Okay, but anyway, you guys look at the idea once I put it out there. But yeah, that's the one that I'm not gonna put any added anything on. I'm not gonna put any extra instruments. It's just gonna be acoustic guitar. Because if I did, and then it's gonna see. I'm very good at having like 30 different. It's a bit of a hyperbole, but yeah, like maybe 10 to 15 different songs, near finished, like 90 to 50% of the way, and then never like ever tying them up. Like I have a cover of an Amy Mann song, "Save Me," which is one of our more popular songs off of Magnolia soundtrack. I want to cover for years, and I have still not put, because there's like, oh, I want to put an organ on it, and I just want to put like a Hammond organ on it, and I was like, I have the VST patch. I'm just going to use, me playing the keyboard, obviously, and then but which I've been using, but then I had a new computer. This way I had to reload all this stuff, and the new computer I have has the I had to re-download FL Studio, so I had to like find what it was called. It was like, wait, was it because I remember buying the patch, which wasn't too expensive. It was like maybe 20 to like maybe $40 at the most or something like that. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just get it again. But then I had to go through the rigmarole of getting so at this point I'm not even gonna add it. I'm just gonna like maybe look over something else and then put it out there. It's literally pretty much like that's the only thing I want to put on it. But anyway, but that's not gonna be about that. But yeah. So, but like I said, some of those ideas in there are pretty easily translatable to keyboard. Like here, I have like wait, hold up. Here, think this through a second. I do have a tripod in the other room, used for occasions like this where I can put my phone in it. There's a kind of the right kind of. But you know, something I had was like so an A. I think it was A major. It's like something like F sharp minor. I love that. To the minor and then F barred chord. Instead of doing that Mario cadence, I actually grew really sick of that kind of Mario cadence because it's so overused. I've used it myself, and I was like, well, I could be like, but there's also the C major, which is basically the minor third above that, and then basically finding a way to squeeze in beyond that, not only that, but other interesting chords. So without going through like a inverse circle of fifths, where because I've kind of gotten a little bit not sick, but just a little bit weary of like doing that. That's one that I did. But the thing with that song is that it was called Unusually Common, I think I put out there like a year or two ago. And I just got so that it could just be the something as simple as the microphone I was using. The older microphone that I had was just too old and too, which I'm trying to sell actually. It was a Rode NT1A with a modification I had like literally like 11 years ago or something. So yeah. But yeah, I did use that before, and I want to kind of switch things up where I'm like, okay, so A major or F sharp minor in some way, or F, yeah. I've heard that too. And like the Doors, that's a pretty good example of like. We're back. That lonely F sharp minor thing is haunting me because I cannot. And then it's also. Yeah, there's something I was using that, and then instead this was in D or B minor actually, something in that. Whereas like trying to figure out, I was like, oh, well, I could do, and then I could do, and then minor, because that's like a different way of almost like a. I like that one too. I still like that, even though, you know, it's like I've heard. Man's doing it. Again, it's like that melodic minor thing that I'm just musing around. But yeah, this is the curse of having too many ideas. I'm not trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm such a prolific genius, because so much of the stuff I haven't put out there yet. And I did want to kind of go back to basics in a sense, but also, I don't know, there's a one sense of me wanting to go kind of back to just like very, very basic kind of like stuff like more exposed or more centered on the texture of stuff, like minimalist stuff, like this F sharp minor. That would be like more of a, probably just an instrumental. Just very, very simple. Nothing too, instead of like maybe this. The Fed is like a pedal point kind of thing, or a reverse pedal point where you're just playing the same kind of. Over the same chords. Obviously, we'll like also try to switch it up, you know, like a. Hold on. Anyways, something like that. I'll try not to bog you guys too much if you guys don't want to watch the whole thing. But yeah, what else do I have? I have. So that one I was thinking of, where it's like a. You know, the G to B. I love that, kind of suspended, kind of 11th corner. Again, more of a circle thing. There's always or often something I'm trying to go for, where it's like not too. There's like, but I believe I already used that in one of the Greek themed songs I put out there. Geez, almost like what, 4 years ago now, I think. But yeah. Then I had another thing where not major. Or between, you know, and then G minor. And chords like that you do, like this fifth there is okay. And then I'm gonna add that. In that kind of Dorian kind of mode kind of thing. You want to make the key ambiguous. You don't want to ever be too obvious about, you know, the key you're in. Right over, and then. And then there's stuff as simple as like just literally just like a major fourth to the first tonic to the minor second. That's sometimes very effective if you can. I don't know if I have that. And these polyrhythms do. I don't know what I'm doing. I just love this kind of cluster of different chords, like. And then I also have a glockenspiel here that I was trying to find I had some kind of striking thing, like a hammer to use that, because it's been a while since I've used that on a song, just because I found, like, I'm trying to go back to more acoustic stuff, you know, like not overlay or stuff just with, you know, synths. I'm not saying that's anything wrong with using stuff like that, but, yeah, I have other classical guitar here. This stays in tune a lot better. Although the nylon strings and stuff, you know, it's been I don't think I've ever changed the strings on this, if you could believe that. But yeah. And then there's another one. I was doing like another bossa nova thing where it's like a. Something like that. Here we go. It's all about, you know, different ways of playing the same chord, so. That shape right there. I like ninth chords a lot. I don't know. In a kind of a minimalist kind of indie kind of slightly mathy. Yeah, but the kind of thing I'm going for with this next, I won't even call it an album yet, because it's like I don't even know what it is the using the fact that I'm kind of hunkered down here as a, see my beautiful face, hunkered down here to and using, kind of expressing the stuff using all what I have to the best of my ability. So part of me wants to also pick up a violin. I tried a few times trying to kind of pick it up, borrowing one of my sister's extra ones because she plays a lot better than I play guitar, that's for sure, or any other instrument, because I stretch myself too thin. I think I have a banjo over there that the only reason I haven't playing it is because I had it set up at the music shop that I always go to. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like I had it set up, and then for some reason there's a one little thing on that banjo that is a traveler's banjo, so it's like not like the full kind of, kind of, I might spend like $300-400 on it. I got a good 6-7, I want to say, like when I was like 22 I got it, started noodling around, and then probably took me like a good couple years to get used to the all the tuning and stuff and all like that. But yeah, the open G and stuff like that. But I think it's just like it's like very weird with the banjo, because there's like one little slip of the like thing on that, and it's like it has to be set up again. And it might be easier said because I still have to watch a video on it, but I also might just, I don't know, have somebody else do it because I'm so just like stuff I have that's simple. These are some classic kind of, almost like not Greek Sirpaki, but it's like here like kind of traditional kind of folk. Some years ago, I also had this epiphany that helped me a lot. When you're kind of in E shapes like this, like here, if you want to switch things up, there's this relationship between B, the dominant seventh, that because if you want to lead yourself up to that, you can always do like a F, to something like or F7, because there's like a relationship between them. The E flat is shared in both E major and also B. So the only thing that's changed is that one, that kind of lining up, and then playing with diminished chords too if you're using, you can stack whatever. I think you can. Diminished. There's also a blues song I'm working on, another thing where it's like a that, and it's like a yeah. Oh, that's kind of weird. It's not, I don't know what you call that. Is that a I've heard double stacks. I've heard people say, like, I don't know if that's, is that, I thought there was like a, no, wait, I think, A there, right? There's like a, of course, I'm timing completely right. But there's like a yeah, 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 and then we could do dominant seven, C. It's nothing new. You've heard that stuff before. And then a dominant seventh. And then you could do nice. And then I had this other thing. I think I want to switch it up from other blues songs, so it's just like. And then. Minor there. Back towards. There's something I want to add to that other bossa nova thing I had in, which was like I should be recording all that stuff now. I'm just getting carried away. What was I doing? It was like a yes. Okay, so it's like a. Something like that. I'll try to wrap this up in a little bit, but I'm going on this now. I'm just gonna see if anything else I have. Something I said. Oh, there's something in. This is best expressed on the piano, probably, but like something like. I want to do like a synth song, kind of like a Boards of Canada kind of thing. Now you've heard that kind of thing before, where it's like, okay, maybe better, B minor, Bex, be better. And then. This is something I did in the. You've heard that before, right? Kind of. It's basically, it's a minor chord, your regular kind of B minor, D minor above it, so it's a minor. I've heard that. But you could also play different ways of playing it. You could play. But I wanted there's something I wanted to do different. Where it was like a. Oh yeah, it was something like. Ooh, that sounds nice. See, this is what happens when you just like endlessly. If you even just pick up guitar, I don't play. I'm not gonna pretend that I don't. That I'd rather not play guitar here than go work out or do anything like that, because I hate doing those things, even though, trying to establish a routine with that kind of stuff. But I would much rather play guitar, but I'm not going to act like I play for like 8 hours a day. I don't. I'm not Charlie Parker. I don't. But then again, there's also the, I tried writing a kind of essay, kind of rants about this, where it's like, which we probably never see the light of day, but that's besides the point. But this idea that so many people that, there's movies that kind of address this too, where the musicians who endlessly try to finesse and to practice, not just with, just like, like beyond like your typical, like way beyond, like the pale of like, 18 hours a day. I've heard some of these people. I don't know, Miles Davis was one of those people. Charlie Parker kind of, I think, on the, on this, just on the saxophone, like not just like, oh, we're band leaders and we're having, just like on their instrument trying to be like, ooh, I'm gonna try to do that. But like, if I, at the most, I might play for, if you're tying up all the stuff that I've been, especially like in the past few weeks that I've been, not just because of New Year's, but because I'm off work too, so I'm like kind of have more of that, and that's kind of, but at least since like maybe December or something, I've been picking up a little bit more, just like playing and trying to, and because of that, I'm coming up with more stuff. It was like, what was that I just played? It was like G minor. It's like, yeah, and that's kind of like the kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to do, because it's it's like, it is on one hand, it's for its own sake, and not, it's like it's only for like a tiny audience, and the other kind of thing, it's like there's a bit of posterity for it. If people want to hear, I don't know. I think what I was saying. Anyway, but the kind of stuff that I'm doing is like, I'm also trying to take care of my health in other ways, and I don't want to. What I'm saying is like, there's like a sad correlation between practicing way too much and becoming way too, like an itty fix, like a fixed idea. It becomes like a tunnel kind of vision. You start getting so wrapped up in your instrument, and so in this idea of greatness and being the next big, hot shot, and like playing the solo that's gonna play, you can play all the standards, you can play everything beyond all that, and but I think for the kind of stuff the kind of lifestyle I want to lead, I don't want to get wrapped up in that kind of scene of, endless competition and dying of a drug overdose at the age of like, my 30s, or like stuff like that. I want to be able to live, and even with my kind of depressive personality, I still, at the end of the day, don't, I don't want to, I mean, music it's a fun thing, it's not like there isn't parts where it's torturous and hard, and I'm playing the same take of me playing over and over again, hours and hours. Just yesterday, like 3-4 hours of, without like me missing lunch, and not because I'm trying to prove myself as a hotshot or anything. I mean, I'm doing that right now. I think I'm missing lunch right now. But it's I'm only trying to. It's only because I have that. I understand. I'm talking because I understand what it's like to be, erasing and re-recording, and then I just like made a little squeak with my chair. Whole take is ruined. Now I have to retake that. So I understand that, but this idea of like, yearning for greatness, I think is like, at a certain point you have to humble yourself, and there's a balance with stuff, and there's a time to suffer. Definitely there's time that life is suffering, the Buddhist kind of dharmic truth, I guess, dharma. And there's a time to I don't know, to kind of repose and to appreciate the beauty and in a reflexive app, kind of without an attitude or without a kind of without trying to outmatch people. But I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I mean, there is kind of a part of me that really does want to be proficient or to be adept at what I'm doing. What was I playing? There was like a just wasting your time now. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for today. I'll try to make another one of these things. Like I said, as an experiment in another major vanity project, I want to try to write a song in 15 minutes or less. The problem with that is that I can come up with chords pretty decently. I think I can come up with like a number of all these different things that I was just like finagling around it past hour. But I don't really know exactly how to go about like lyrics wise. I get like lyrics just come to me in a more like, I'd say it's harder for me to express myself verbally than it is for me to just pick up a guitar and kind of come up with like all the chords and stuff. So as far as an instrumental track, I could even write something in like a few minutes. Like not trying to brag, I'm just saying, just because of the stuff I've drawn on throughout the years. But there is another aspect of like me trying to get better at trying to maybe get my creative juices flowing more lyrically, because there are stuff even when I think of like the bits of poetry and stuff that I've come up with throughout the years, a lot of which is pretty cringe. I know that word's like so overused, but it's kind of, I think it's apt when it comes to this kind of the stuff that I've come up with is it can be pretty bad. Like no meter and some rhyming and stuff like that. But aside from that, like straining, like a lot of it's like really. But there are times when I've channeled certain things, or I've had voices come to me, different narrative voices and stuff, where I feel like I'm taking on a different personality and I'm seeing people through their different shoes, and or singing in a way where I've sung from the point of view of in the past of people that are like a lot maybe less in touch maybe than I am, I guess, like what it's like, or through the voice of somebody maybe that's like not the more I don't know what I'm getting at, but anyway, but like like I said, like I'd like to try to kind of get that um as a challenge, I guess, to kind of get my to see what I can thread together. I hope that I would be able to film that on a better kind of, with more better lighting and stuff like that, and a actual tripod, rather than me just kind of walking around my room. But yeah, that's all I have for now. And yeah, if you made it this far, thank you, and I'll see you when I see you.